Here we go. One last push. Ready? Push. That's it. That's it.
You're doing well, darling.
Keep pushing.
Come on, darling. Mary and Jenny are already waiting inside for us. We need to get you to bed.
It is very seldom mere ordinary people like John and myself secure a hereditary estate for the summer. I would say it's a haunted house, and reach the height of romantic felicity, but that would be asking too much of fate. Still, there is something queer about it. John laughs at me, of course. John is practical in the extreme. He is a physician, and perhaps, and I dare not say this to a living soul, but this dead paper, a great relief to my mind. Perhaps that is one reason I do not get well faster. You see, he does not believe I am sick, and what can I do? If a physician of high standing and one's own husband assures friends and relatives that there is really nothing the matter with one but a slight hysterical tendency, what is one to do? So I take tonics and am absolutely forbidden to work until I am well again. Personally, I disagree with their ideas. Personally, I believe their congenial work with excitement and change would do me good. But what is one to do? I did write for a while in spite of them, but it does exhaust me a good deal having to be so sly about it, or else meet with heavy opposition. John says the worst thing I can do is to think about my condition, so I will let it alone and talk about the house. The most beautiful place. There is something strange about the house, however, I can feel it. I even said so to John one evening, but he said that I felt a draught and shut the window. I get angry with John sometimes. I don't mean to be so sensitive. I think it is due to this nervous condition. I don't like our room. I wanted one downstairs, but John would not hear of it. He said we came here solely on my account, that I was to have perfect rest and all the air I could get. It is a big, airy room. The paper has one of those sprawling, flamboyant patterns committing every artistic sin. It is dull enough to confuse the eye, pronounced enough to constantly irritate and provoke study. When you follow the lame, uncertain curves for a little distance, they suddenly commit suicide. The colour is repellent, almost revolting. I never saw a worse paper in my life. We have been here 2 weeks, and I haven't felt like writing before since that first day. John is away all day, and even some nights when cases are serious. I am glad my case is not serious, but these nervous troubles are dreadfully depressing. John does not know how much I really suffer. He knows that there is no reason to suffer, and that satisfies him. Of course, it is only nervousness. It does weigh on me so not to do my duty in any way. It is fortunate Mary is so good with the baby, and yet I cannot be with him. It makes me so nervous. I suppose John never was nervous in his life. He laughs at me so about this wallpaper. At first, he meant to repair the room, but afterwards he said that I was letting it get the better of me, and that nothing was worse for a nervous patient than to give way to such fantasies. He said that after the wallpaper was changed, it would be the heavy bedstead, and then the barred windows, and then the gate at the top of the stairs, and so on.
You know it's doing you good. Really, I don't care to renovate just for a 3-month rental.
Then do let us go downstairs. There are such pretty rooms there.
You blessed little goose. If you wish, I'll go down into the cellar and have it whitewashed into bargain. But there's only one window and there's not enough room for us both to sleep.
I suppose you're right. It is an airy and comfortable room here.
I'm really getting quite fond of the big room, all but that horrid paper. I would not be so silly as to make him uncomfortable just for a whim. John has cautioned me not to give way to fancy in the least. He says that with my imaginative power and habit of story-making, a nervous weakness like mine is sure to lead to all manner of excited fancies, and that I ought to use my will and good sense to check the tendency. So I try. I wish I could get well faster, but I must not think about that. This paper looks to me as if it knew what a vicious influence it had. There is a recurrent spot where the pattern lolls like a broken neck and 2 bulbous eyes stare at you upside down. I get positively angry with the impertinence of it and the everlastingness. Up and down and sideways they crawl, and those absurd, unblinking eyes are everywhere. This wallpaper has a kind of sub-pattern in a different shade, a particularly irritating one, for you can only see it in certain lights, and not clearly then. I can see a strange, provoking, formless sort of figure that seems to sulk about behind that silly and conspicuous front design. I'm getting really fond of the room, in spite of the wallpaper. Perhaps because of the wallpaper. I lie here on this great and immovable bed. It is nailed down, I believe, and follow that pattern about by the hour. It is as good as gymnastics, I assure you. I start, we'll say, at the bottom, down in the corner, and I will follow that pointless pattern to some sort of conclusion. There are things in that paper that nobody knows but me, or ever will.
What are you doing, little girl? Walk about like that, you'll get a cold.
John, my love, I really do not think I'm gaining health here. I do so wish you'd take us away.
Why, darling, at least we'll be up in 3 weeks, and I can't see how to leave before. The repairs are not done at home, and I just cannot possibly leave town just now. Of course, if you were in any danger, I could and would. But you really are better, dear, whether you can see it or not. I am a doctor, dear, and I would know. You're gaining flesh and colour, and your appetite is better. I feel really much easier about you.
I don't weigh a bit more, nor as much. My appetite might be better in the evening when you're here, but it's worse in the morning when you're away.
Bless her little heart. She shall be as sick as she pleases. But now let us improve the shining hours by going to sleep and talk about it in the morning.
And you won't go away?
Why, how can I, dear? It's only 3 weeks more, and then we'll take a nice little trip of a few days while Jenny is getting the house ready. Really, dear, you are better.
Better in body, perhaps.
Harriet, I beg of you, for my own sake, for our child's sake, for your sake, of course, that you never, not even for an instant, let a thought like that come into your mind. There is nothing more dangerous and fascinating to a temperament like yours. It is false and foolish fancy. Do you not believe when a physician as I tells you so?
What are you doing?
I'm just off to work now, and I'll be staying down in town tonight, and someone is coming to pick up the furniture ready for our departure tomorrow. You'll be good, won't you?
I must get to work. I'm getting angry enough to do something desperate. To jump out the window would be admirable exercise, but the bars are too strong to even try. Perhaps I wouldn't do it. Of course not. I know well enough a move like that is improper and might be misconstrued. I don't like to look out the window even. There are so many of those creeping women, and they creep so fast. I wonder if they come out of the wallpaper as I did. I suppose I shall have to get back behind the pattern when it comes day. And that is hard. It is so pleasant to be out in this great room and creep around as I please. I don't want to go outside. I won't, even if Jenny asked me to. For outside you have to creep on the ground and everything is green instead of yellow. But here I can creep smoothly on the floor and I cannot lose my way.
Harriet? Jenny, bring me an axe.
John dear, the keys are down by the front steps.
Oh, open the door, my darling.
I can't. The keys are down by the front steps. The keys are down by the front steps. The keys are down by the front steps.
spite of you, you can't put me back.
And why should that man have fainted? But he did. And right across my path. So I have to creep over him every time.